The desire to make them regret walking away will keep you in chains. It's a poison you drink, hoping they will feel the pain. But your true, quiet transformation, that is what will not only set you free, but build a life they can only ever watch from a distance. We believe that their regret will somehow heal our wounds, that their looking back will validate our worth, but this is a trap. The path forward isn't found by looking over your shoulder. It's found by turning inward into the quiet of that empty room and starting a different kind of work. This journey isn't about winning them back or making them pay. It's about building a version of yourself that no longer needs their validation. To feel whole, there's a venom in wanting to be proven right. It moves through you, not with heat, but with a cold, sharp energy. It's the energy that tells you to fight back, to show them what they've lost, to make sure they see you shining the moment they turn their back. It begins as a feeling of profound injustice, a powerlessness that is so uncomfortable, so alien, that your body and mind scream for you to do something, anything. The world feels tilted on its axis, and you believe a grand, dramatic gesture will set it right again. This is the poison of reaction. Think about that moment, late at night. The house is still. The only light comes from the phone in your hand. Your thumb hovers over their name. You've opened and closed the messaging app a dozen times. You've scrolled through their pictures, each one a small, sharp paper cut on your soul. You see them smiling in a new photo, surrounded by people, and a fire lights in your gut. It's a mix of rage and sadness, and a desperate need to be seen. So you start to perform. You post a picture of yourself, smiling wider than you've smiled in weeks. You caption it with something about new beginnings. You share a song with lyrics that are just pointed enough for them to understand. Every action is a line cast into the dark, hoping to feel a tug on the other end, hoping they are watching, hoping they are hurting. You are consumed by a fantasy. In this fantasy, they are sitting in their own dark room, just like you. They are refreshing your profile. They are tormented by the image of your smile. They are rereading your old messages, their heart aching with the weight of their mistake. This fantasy feels like power. It feels like control, but it is a cage. You have not moved on. You have just built a new prison for yourself, and the bars are made of their perceived attention. Every action you take for their benefit keeps you chained to them. Every time you check to see if they've watched your story, you are giving them the key to your own happiness. You are still living according to their judgment, their timeline, their feelings. You have given the person who walked away complete and total power over the person who was left behind. The ancient Stoics saw this trap with perfect clarity. They understood that the root of our suffering is not what happens to us, but how we react to what happens to us. A former slave named Epictetus, who became one of the most revered philosophers in history, gave us a key to unlock this cage. He called it the Dichotomy of Control. It's not a complicated idea, but it is life-altering. He said we must draw a firm line in the landscape of our lives. On one side of that line are all the things we cannot control. On the other, the few precious things we can. What can't you control? Their feelings, their decisions, their thoughts about you, their new life, their happiness, and most importantly, their regret. You have absolutely no power over whether they regret leaving you. You can perform, you can scream, you can succeed out of pure spite, and they may still feel nothing but relief. Trying to control their mind is like trying to hold water in your fist. It is a frustrating and futile exercise. And what can you control? Your responses, your thoughts, your actions. The character you choose to build from this moment forward. Your inner peace, that's it. That is your entire kingdom. Obsessing over their regret is pouring all of your life's energy into the wrong side of that line. It is abandoning your own kingdom to go wage a war in a foreign land you can never, ever win. The real work, the hard work, the work that leads to freedom, is to pull all of that energy back. to bring it home, across that line, and invest it in the only thing that will ever truly belong to you, yourself. This is the first, most difficult step. It is the withdrawal from the poison. The metaphor that comes to mind is a stormy sea. When the relationship ends, it feels like you've been thrown from a ship into a churning, violent ocean. The waves of anger, grief, and loneliness crash over you. They are immense and terrifying. The storm is the event, the breakup. You did not create it, and you cannot stop it. The reactive person, the person still drinking the poison, tries to fight the ocean. They scream at the waves, they punch the water. They curse the sky for the storm. They exhaust all of their energy, fighting a force of nature, and they inevitably drown in their own struggle. The Stoic, however, does not fight the storm. The Stoic accepts the storm is here. Their focus is not on the waves, but on the one thing they can control, their own swimming. They focus on their breath. They focus on keeping their head above water. They turn their back to the massive, uncontrollable waves and face the shore, which might be miles away. They accept they are in the water, and they start the slow, steady work of saving themselves. The work is learning to steady your own ship, even while the hurricane rages. It is focusing on your own navigation, on plugging the leaks in your own vessel, on manning your own rudder. In time, the storm outside will still be there, but it will no longer have the power to capsize you. You will have found your sea legs. What if the desire to make them regret it isn't a sign of strength, but a confession of how much power they still have over you? Could it be that every action taken to get their attention is just another way of saying, your opinion of me is more important than my own peace? This is the moment of choice. It happens in the dark, with the phone in your hand. You see their face smiling. You feel the fire in your gut. And you can choose to cast another line, to post another photo, to continue the performance. Or you can choose stillness. You can choose to put the phone down. You can let the storm rage without participating in it. This is not weakness. It is not surrender. It is the highest form of discipline. It is the first act of taking your power back. You are not pretending the storm isn't there. You are simply realizing that your focus must be on your own anchor, not on the wind that blows from their direction. You let their ship sail away, and you turn your full attention to your own. The sea is still rough, but for the first time, you feel the solid deck beneath your own feet. You are no longer reacting. You are beginning to respond. Your memory is not a shrine. It's a room you have to learn to live in again. But for now, it is haunted. Long after their physical presence is gone, their ghost remains. It is a subtle and relentless haunting. It doesn't rattle chains or slam doors. It's much quieter than that. It sits in the passenger seat of your car when you're driving alone. It whispers critiques when you try on a new shirt. It's there when you meet someone new, standing over your shoulder, making comparisons, pointing out flaws. This ghost is made of memory, but it feels as real as flesh and blood. You find yourself in constant conversation with it. You have arguments with it in the shower, replaying old fights, but this time you have the perfect comeback. You try to impress it, telling it about a small victory at work, hoping the ghost will be proud. You seek its approval for every choice you make, from the movie you watch to the path you take on your evening walk. This internal conversation feels necessary. It feels like you are processing, like you are working through the loss. But what you are actually doing is keeping the wound perfectly, eternally fresh. You are practicing the pain. Every interaction with their ghost solidifies their importance and your loss. You believe that by holding onto their memory so tightly, you are keeping something vital alive. But what you are actually doing is sacrificing your own, living present to a past that is already dead. Imagine trying to drive a car while looking only in the rearview mirror. You would be a danger to yourself and everyone around you. You would have no idea where you are going, only where you have been. This is what it's like to live with the ghost. Your attention is fixed backward and life is moving forward, with or without you. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most powerful man in the world during his time, was constantly haunted. Not by lovers, but by the pressures of his office, by betrayals, by grief, by the immense weight of the empire. He was not a philosopher in a quiet study. He was a man in the arena of life. And in his private journal, which we now know as Meditations, he gave himself a command over and over again: wipe away the impressions of the past. Stick to the present, he wrote. Your life is what your thoughts make it. Think about that. It's a simple sentence, but it holds the key to exercising the ghost. If your thoughts are a constant loop of conversations with someone who has left, then your life becomes a haunted house, a prison of memory. The Stoic task is not to violently throw the ghost out, because that is just another form of struggle, another angry conversation. The task is to gently but firmly evict it through a quiet redirection of your attention. It works like this. The thought of them arises. The ghost enters the room. Maybe you hear a song on the radio that you both loved. The familiar ache blossoms in your chest. The memories start to flood in. The old you would have drowned in that flood. You would have turned the music up, closed your eyes, and let the sadness take you for a ride. The new you, the one practicing this art, does something different. You acknowledge the thought. You see the ghost. You might even nod to it. Ah, there. You are again. I remember this feeling. You don't fight it. You don't judge yourself for it. But then, you deliberately turn your attention elsewhere. You turn it to the feeling of the steering wheel in your hands, to the sight of the trees passing by your window, to the lyrics of the next song on the radio. You bring yourself back, gently, to the only moment that is real, this one. This is not denial. This is triage for the soul. You are deciding, consciously, that your present moment is more important than your past pain. You do this 100 times. A day, 1,000 times. At first, it's exhausting. The ghost is persistent. But every time you redirect your focus, you are building a new mental muscle. You are slowly, patiently, teaching your mind that while the past is real, it is no longer your home. The metaphor for this process is a shattered mirror. When they left, it felt as though they smashed the mirror in which you saw yourself. Now, all you have are the broken pieces, and you keep picking them up, trying to see your reflection. But the image is always distorted, fragmented. You see a sliver of a smile here, a shard of a tear there. You keep trying to glue the pieces back together, hoping to see the whole person you were when you were with them. But you can't, and you keep cutting your fingers on the sharp edges. The Stoic resolution is to stop trying to fix the mirror. The work is to get a broom and a dustpan and carefully, deliberately sweep up the shards. You wrap them in cloth and you put them away. The goal is not to find a new mirror right away. The goal is to learn to live in a room without a reflection for a while. To learn to exist without needing to see yourself through anyone else's eyes, especially the eyes of the one who broke the mirror. It is about finding out who you are when you are not being reflected back at yourself. Have you ever found yourself avoiding certain places? A coffee shop, a park bench, an entire neighborhood, because the memories are too loud there? What if those places are not the problem? What if the problem is that you are still bringing the ghost with you as your companion? The shift happens slowly. It's not a dramatic event. It's 1,000 small moments of choosing the present over the past. One day, you'll be driving, and that song will come on the radio. You'll feel the familiar pang in your chest, but it will be duller this time, an echo, not a scream. You will acknowledge it, and then you will find yourself humming along to the chorus. Your mind not on the memory, but on the road ahead. You will walk past that coffee shop, and instead of feeling a wave of grief, you might notice the way the Morning light hits the window. You are no longer a prisoner of your own memories. You are becoming an active participant in your own life again. You are not forgetting the past, but you are refusing to let it colonize your future. The echo in the hallway is growing fainter, and in its place, you are starting to hear the sound of your own quiet footsteps moving forward. Your worth is not a fragile thing to be carried in someone else's hands. For too long, you have believed that it is. The conflict here is with the deep, shaking vulnerability that follows abandonment. When someone you love walks away, it can feel like they have conducted a spiritual robbery. It feels as if they have taken your confidence, your desirability, your sense of self, and locked it in a box that only they have the key to. Your emotional state becomes entirely externalized. You feel exposed, like a house with no doors or windows, and the wind of the world's opinion blows right through you. The slightest judgment can knock you over. If you hear through a friend that they are happy, it feels like a physical blow. It crushes you. If you hear they called you foolish or desperate, it would devastate you for days. You are living in a state of constant, low-grade terror, waiting for the next piece of news, the next judgment, the next gust of wind. This vulnerability makes us do one of two things. We either hide or we lash out. We hide from the world, avoiding social situations where we might be judged. Or we lash out, becoming defensive and bitter, building a wall of anger to protect the fragile, wounded core. Within, both are strategies born of fear. The fear that we are, in fact, as worthless as their departure has made us feel. In this state, you find yourself rehearsing. You practice conversations in your head for an encounter that may never happen. In the shower, you craft the perfect, witty comeback. In the car, you rehearse a cool, indifferent monologue. Oh, hello. I barely recognized you. Yes, things are going wonderfully. I've never been better. You play out these scenes over and over, trying to find the perfect script. That will prove you are okay, that you are strong, that you have won the breakup. But what does this mental rehearsal truly reveal? It reveals that you are still living for an audience of one. It shows how much you still believe that your worth is a performance to be judged by them. You are auditioning for a role in a play that has already closed. Marcus Aurelius knew this feeling of exposure. As an emperor, he was the most judged man in the world. Every decision was scrutinized. Every victory was questioned. Every failure was magnified. He could have lived his life in a state of perpetual anxiety, reacting to the opinions of the Senate, his generals, his family, and the public. Instead, he developed a tool for survival. He called it the inner citadel. He urged himself to build your mind's fortress. The citadel is not a physical place. It is a space you construct within your own consciousness. It is a place of unshakable peace, of quiet strength, that no external event and no person can ever breach. It is not built of stone and mortar. It is built brick by brick of your principles, your values, your reason, and your self-respect. Building this citadel is the work of a lifetime, but it begins with a single foundational decision. You decide that your worth is non-negotiable. It is not granted by lovers or employers or friends. It is inherent. It was there before they arrived, and it remains after they have gone. Their opinion of you is like the weather outside the fortress walls. It can be a sunny day or a raging hurricane. It can be loud. It can be violent. But it cannot get in unless you are foolish enough to lower the drawbridge and let it. Every time you choose to react to their perceived opinion, you are lowering that drawbridge. Every time you rehearse that imaginary conversation, you are handing them an invitation to walk right into the heart of your fortress. The metaphor is that of a quiet, stone fortress on a hill. Look at it in your mind. It is not an aggressive, ostentatious castle built to intimidate. It has no golden banners or menacing spikes. It is simple, solid, unadorned, and enduring. It was built for one purpose: defense. Its strength doesn't come from how it looks to the people in the valley below. Its strength comes from the integrity of its foundations and the thickness of its walls. From within this fortress, you can look out of the high windows and observe the world. You can see the storms gather. You can watch people come and go. You can see them pointing up at you. You can see them shaking their fists. You can see them laughing. You can see it all, but you are not threatened by it. You are safe within your own center. You are the source of your own security. How much of your day is spent worrying about what other people think of you? Not just this one person, but everyone? Could it be that you have been living your entire life outside, in the wind, because you never knew you had the power to build a shelter within? Building your inner citadel means you stop rehearsing the conversations. Not because you are suppressing the urge, but because the urge itself begins to fade. Their opinion, which once felt like the sun that your entire world revolved around, is now just one of many small lights in the distance. It no longer holds the power to warm you or to burn you. The source of your validation begins to move. It migrates from their mind, a place you can never know, to your own. You become the sole sovereign judge of your own character. And that is a verdict you can finally trust. You begin to care less about being impressive and more about being solid. You stop trying to look strong and you start the quiet, unseen work of actually becoming strong. One day, you will think about running into them, and the thought will not be accompanied by a script. There will be no anxiety, no need to perform. The thought will simply be, I would be okay. And in that simple thought, you will know that the fortress walls are holding. You are safe, at home, within yourself. Your greatest pain is not your enemy. It is your most powerful raw material. The deepest emotional conflict we face is not with the person who left, but with the pain itself. We treat suffering as a mistake, an injustice, a personal insult from the universe. We think, this should not have happened. This is not fair. My life is broken because of this. This resistance to reality is the source of almost all our misery. We are fighting a war against a past that has already been decided. It's like arguing with gravity. You can resent it all you want, but you are still bound by its laws. The desire for them to regret leaving you is a primary symptom of this fight. It's a desperate attempt to reject the reality of what happened, to somehow reverse the verdict by proving the judge was wrong. While you are locked in this struggle, you are stagnant. You are trapped in the amber of your own bitterness, a victim of your own story. You replay the injustice, you nurse the wound, you tell anyone who will listen about how you were wronged. And all the while, life is slipping through your fingers. The energy that could be used to build a new future is being spent trying to litigate a dead past. There is a Stoic idea, one of the most challenging and powerful in all of philosophy, that offers a way out. It is the concept of Amor Fati, a Latin phrase that means a love of fate. It was popularized by the philosopher Nietzsche, but its roots run deep into Stoic thought. It is the practice of not just accepting, but embracing everything that happens in your life as if you had chosen it yourself. The good, the bad, the beautiful, and the excruciatingly painful. Epictetus, the slave philosopher, put it this way: do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish for things to happen the way they do happen, and your life will go smoothly. This sounds insane at first. Love the pain, love the betrayal, love the heartbreak. It seems like a form of madness, but it is the highest form of spiritual sanity. It is not about pretending that pain doesn't hurt. It is about changing your relationship with the pain. Instead of seeing this breakup, this abandonment, as a destructive event that has ruined your life, you choose to see it as a necessary event, that has been given to you for your own transformation. You treat it as fuel. This very pain, the one that keeps you up at night, the one that makes your chest ache, this is the energy source. You have been given to forge a new self. The metaphor is the blacksmith's forge. Your life, your character, your soul, that is. The raw, unshaped piece of iron. The breakup, the pain, the injustice, that is the roaring fire of the forge. And the circumstances that follow, the hard work, the lonely nights, the difficult choices, that is the hammer. Now, you have a choice. The raw iron can be put into the fire and melt into a useless, molten puddle. This is the person who succumbs to victimhood, who allows the pain to dissolve them into bitterness and regret. Or, the iron can be heated in that fire until it glows white hot. It becomes malleable. Then, it can be placed on the anvil and struck. By the hammer, over and over. Each blow is agonizing. Each strike of the hammer is a moment of challenge, a setback, a lesson learned. The iron is folded, struck, folded, and struck again. This is the process of building new habits, of facing your fears, of learning to be alone. It is not pleasant. But through this violent, fiery process, the soft iron is transformed. The impurities are beaten out of it. Its internal structure is changed. It becomes steel, a finely tempered blade, strong, resilient, and useful. The pain was not the end of the iron. The pain was the process that turned it into a sword. The fire is not a punishment. The fire is a tool. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror after a long period of grief and not recognized the person looking back? The tired eyes, the slump of the shoulders, the absence of light. It's a shocking moment when you realize how much energy the sorrow has physically stolen from you. What if that moment is not an ending, but a beginning? What if that tired person is the raw iron ready to be placed in the fire? The shift in perspective is profound. It is the moment you stop saying, "Why did this happen to me?" and you start asking, "What can I build with this?" The pain is no longer a meaningless wound. It is now a furnace. It is an incredible source of energy for change. This is when you start. You take the energy of your anger and you channel it into your workouts. You take the energy of your loneliness and you pour it into that new skill you always wanted to learn. You take the energy of your heartbreak and you use it to read books, to journal, to understand yourself, to become a more compassionate friend, a more resilient human being. You start to see the event not as a stumbling block, but as a stepping stone, a brutal, painful, necessary stepping stone that lifted you to a higher path. You don't have to be grateful for the pain, but you can be grateful for what the pain is teaching you. You are no longer a victim of your story. You are the alchemist, turning the lead of your suffering into the gold of your character. Your strength is not measured by what you say, but by what you have the wisdom not to say. We live in an age of noise, an age of constant broadcasting. The conflict we face is the deep, primal urge to be seen, to be heard, to prove that we exist, especially when we feel we have been discarded. When someone leaves, the silence they create is deafening, and our instinct is to fill it with our own noise. We send the long, late-night text message, a waterfall of pain and anger, demanding answers, demanding closure we will never receive. We post cryptic quotes on social media, hoping to trigger a reaction. We share songs that we know will get their attention. We might even engineer accidental run-ins. We broadcast our recovery with a desperate intensity, posting pictures from the gym, from a night out with friends. Each post a silent scream. Look at me. Look how much I don't need you. Look how much you should regret this. Every one of these actions feels like taking control. It feels like we are doing something, making our presence felt. But it is a complete illusion. Every one of these acts is a form of begging. It is a cry for attention, an attempt to provoke a response that will validate our existence. It is a performance for an audience of one, and it reveals a profound weakness. It shows that our emotional state is still entirely dependent on their gaze. We are puppets, and we are hoping that by dancing hard enough, the person who dropped our strings will look back down. True strength, the kind the Stoics championed, often manifests not in action, but in restraint. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, taught that a good life, a state of well-being, is realized by living in agreement with nature. And what is the nature of deep healing? It is almost always quiet. It is internal. It is unseen. A broken bone knits itself together in the dark. Beneath the skin, a seed germinates in the silent soil. True growth does not need to announce itself. The Stoic resolution is to embrace the profound power of disciplined silence. This is not the silent treatment, which is a passive-aggressive weapon. This is not ghosting, which is an act of avoidance. This is a conscious, dignified choice. It is a powerful statement that your healing process is a sacred thing, not a public performance. You are refusing to participate in the drama. You are taking yourself and your pain off the stage. This silence is not empty. It is not a void. It is incredibly full. It is full of all the energy you are no longer wasting on performance. It is full of your own focused attention, which you are now directing inward. Think of the metaphor of a deep, still lake. A frantic, insecure person stands at the shore, constantly throwing rocks into the water. They need to see the splash, to hear the sound, to make waves, to prove that the water is real and that they have an effect on it. Their day is spent in this desperate, noisy activity. But where is the real power in that scene? Is it in the frantic throwing, or is it in the lake itself? The lake is vast, deep, and unmoved. Its power lies in its immense stillness. It does not need to make waves to prove its existence. Its surface perfectly reflects the sky, but its depths hold a quiet, cool mystery. By choosing silence, you stop being the frantic person on the shore. You become the lake. Your silence becomes your depth. Have you ever typed out a long emotional paragraph on your phone? A message full of accusations, or begging, or perfect, cutting insults. You read it over and over. Your thumb hovers above the send button. Your heart is pounding. There is an internal war raging inside you. The impulse to unleash your pain versus the quiet, whispering voice of your own wisdom telling you to let it go. What if winning that war is not about pressing send? What if true victory is deleting the message? Every time you choose not to send that text, not to post that story, not to check their profile, you are winning a small battle. You are reclaiming a piece of your own soul. You are choosing your own dignity over their reaction. This is a move from desperate expression to dignified reserve. The validation you once craved from their response is slowly being replaced by the self-respect you are earning with your own restraint. You are learning to soothe your own pain rather than demanding that the person who caused it come back and fix it. And here's the paradox. Their regret, if it is ever to come, is far more likely to be sparked by your quiet, dignified absence than by your noisy, desperate pleas for attention. Your silence creates a vacuum. It makes you a mystery. They expected you to scream, to cry, to fight. Your calm stillness is the one response they cannot understand, and the one they are most likely to respect. They will wonder about your peace, and in that wonder, the seeds of their own regret may finally be sown. But by then, you will be too busy tending to the depths of your own lake to notice. There's a terror in empty space. After they are gone, the biggest challenge is the vacuum they leave behind. It's not just the person you miss. It's the structure, the shared routines, the inside jokes, the constant back and forth of a life lived together. Their presence occupied a huge amount of your time, your energy, and most of all, your mental real estate. Now, there's just emptiness. This emptiness can be terrifying. It manifests as a profound boredom, a deep loneliness, a feeling of being utterly untethered and purposeless. The weekend arrives, a vast silent desert of hours that used to be filled. You wake up on a Saturday morning with no plans, no one to talk to, and the quiet of your home feels like a physical weight pressing down on you. The immediate temptation is to fill that void as quickly and as loudly as possible. We look for a replacement. We jump onto dating apps, seeking a new person to plug the hole. We distract ourselves with mindless scrolling, with binge-watching television for hours on end, with anything that will numb the feeling of being alone. With our own thoughts, we might become workaholics, burying ourselves in our jobs to avoid the silence that waits for us at home. That these are all attempts to find an external solution to an internal problem. It is like patching a crumbling foundation with wallpaper. It might look better for a short time, but it does nothing to fix the underlying structural issue. The Stoic philosopher Seneca, who was one of the wealthiest and most powerful men in Rome, often wrote about the importance of cultivating the self as one's primary duty. He saw that true contentment could never be found in external things, not in wealth, not in status, and not in other people. It had to be built from within. He would advise us to see ourselves not as a house with a hole in it, but as a neglected garden. For a long time, this garden has been cultivated for someone else's pleasure. Perhaps you only planted the flowers they liked. Perhaps you let weeds grow in the parts of yourself they weren't interested in. Your attention was on their enjoyment of the garden, not on the health of the garden itself. Now the garden is entirely yours. You have been given the profound and challenging opportunity to become your own gardener. This is not about distracting yourself until you feel better. This is the slow, patient, deliberate work of building a life that is rich, meaningful, and beautiful on its own terms. The first step is to pull the weeds. This is the hard work of removing the bitterness, the resentment, and the self-pity that are choking the life out of the soil. This is the work we have already talked about, accepting reality, building our inner fortress. Then, you must till the soil. You break up the hard, compacted earth of your old habits and routines. You introduce new air, new nutrients. This is trying new things, going to new places, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, even when it's scary. Finally, you begin to plant new seeds. You plant the seed of a new hobby, learning an instrument, taking a painting class, joining a hiking group. You plant the seeds of new knowledge by reading books on subjects you know nothing about. You nurture the seeds of old friendships that you may have neglected. You plant the seeds of physical well-being by learning to cook healthy food, by moving your body, by getting enough sleep. And then you water them. You water them every day with the discipline of your attention and the patience of your commitment. You are not doing this to create a beautiful garden that you can show off to the person on the other side of the wall. You are not doing this so they will peek over one day and regret what they lost. You are doing it for the love of the garden itself. What is one thing you always wanted to do, but never made time for because you were too busy tending to someone else's life? Could that empty weekend, the one you dread, actually be the greatest gift you've ever been given? A gift of time, a gift of silence, a gift of a blank canvas? The emotional shift is subtle but life-changing. It is a shift from empty longing to purposeful cultivation. You stop waiting for someone else to bring you flowers, and you learn the deep, quiet satisfaction of growing your own. That empty Saturday that once felt like a punishment now feels like a possibility. The loneliness, which was a feeling of lack, slowly transforms into solitude, which is a feeling of sufficiency. And in that rich, fulfilling solitude, you build a world that is so complete, so vibrant, and so uniquely yours, that the presence of another person in your life will one day feel like a wonderful addition, not a desperate necessity. You will have built a garden so beautiful, you will be happy to simply live in it, whether anyone else ever sees it or not. The final way to make them regret Leaving you is to arrive at the one place where their regret is completely and utterly irrelevant. This is the final test. After all the work, after all the healing, after all the growth, there can still be a last faint flicker of the ego. It's the small part of us that, even after finding peace, still wants a sign, a piece of evidence, a text message out of the blue, a report from a mutual friend that they are miserable. We want to know, for certain, that they know they made a mistake. It's like we have done all the work to climb a huge mountain. We have trained, we have struggled, we have overcome obstacles. We have reached a high altitude where the air is clean and the perspective is vast. But we keep stopping just short of the summit to look back down the trail, hoping to catch a glimpse of them at the bottom, looking up at us in awe. This final attachment, this need to be witnessed in our victory, is the very last link in the chain that keeps us tied to them. The ultimate goal of Stoic practice is not just resilience or calmness. It is a state the Greeks called eudaimonia. It doesn't have a perfect English translation. It means something like human flourishing, a life of virtue and excellence, a deep and abiding inner contentment that is entirely self-sourced. Seneca touched on this when he wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Notice the word anxious. The desire for their regret is a form of anxiety. It is a dependence on a future event, their change of heart too. Validate our present self. Eudaimonia is the state you reach when that dependence dissolves entirely. You have done the work. You have faced the storm and learned to sail. You have swept up the shattered mirror and learned to live without a reflection. You have laid the foundations of your inner fortress. You have taken the fire of your pain and forged yourself into something new. You have become the quiet lake. You have cultivated your own garden. You are no longer the person they left. That person doesn't exist anymore. They were the raw iron. You are now the tempered blade. To want that old person to be validated by their regret is to miss the entire point. The person they left behind was weak, was dependent, was fragile. Their leaving was the accurate diagnosis of that condition. But their departure was also the bitter medicine that forced the cure. The ultimate metaphor is finally reaching the summit of that mountain. After the long, arduous climb, you pull yourself up onto the final peak. You stand up. The air is thin, crisp, and pure. You are tired, but you are strong. And you don't look back down the trail. You turn around, and you face the view. Before you is a vast and breathtaking panorama. 100 other mountain peaks, valleys shrouded in mist, a sky that seems to go on forever. The world you came from, the world of your heartbreak and your pain, looks incredibly small and distant from up here. It is just one tiny part of a massive, beautiful landscape. Your feeling is not one of arrogant victory. It is not "I'll show them." It is a feeling of profound, quiet awe. Awe at the journey. Awe at your own strength. Awe at the sheer scale of the life that is now spread out before you. Their story, their choice, their regret or lack thereof, it is now a tiny, insignificant detail in a magnificent landscape. It's a single stone at the bottom of a mountain. You have already climbed. There will come a day when you are cleaning out your phone contacts. You will scroll to their name, and you will feel nothing. No anger, no sadness, no spark of hope. And you will press delete, not with a sense of triumph, but with a quiet sense of housekeeping. You are simply tidying up your world. Or perhaps you will run into them by chance at a grocery store. The encounter you once rehearsed 1,000 times is now happening, and there is no script, there's no anxiety, there is no spike of adrenaline. You look at them and you feel a polite, distant sense of peace. You see them not as a monster or a savior, but simply as a person you used to know. You might wish them well, and you will mean it, because their happiness no longer has any bearing on your own. This is the final emotional shift. It is the move from seeking validation to finding fulfillment. This is true freedom. The question that has burned in your mind for so long, do they regret it? Finally falls silent. Not because you have the answer, but because the question itself has become meaningless. It is replaced by a deep, quiet confidence in your own path, in the view from your own mountain. Their regret, if it exists, is their burden to carry. It is their work to do. It is not your trophy to win. You were seeking a small, tarnished prize, and in the process, you stumbled upon an infinite treasure, a peaceful mind, a resilient heart, a life that is your own. The greatest revenge, the most profound way to make them regret walking away, is to build a life so good, so true, and so beautiful that you are far too busy living it to ever look back. The journey does not end with a victory parade. There is no trophy. There is no grand finale where your rival admits defeat. It ends in a quiet harbor. The seas of life will always have storms. People will disappoint you, fortune will turn, and pain will visit you again. That is the nature of things. But you are no longer a castaway, tossed helplessly by the waves. You are now the captain of your own ship. You have your hands on the wheel. You know how to read the weather, how to mend your sails, and how to navigate by your own stars. You are confident in your ability to find safe harbor, no matter how fierce the storm. The work of Stoicism isn't a one-time fix for a broken heart. It is a lifelong philosophy for a challenging world. It is the daily practice of choosing virtue over vengeance, peace over turmoil, and internal strength over external validation. It is the art of separating what you can control from what you cannot, and then pouring all of your energy into what you can. You began this journey with a burning question: how can I make them regret walking away? But the entire process has been a slow, steady dismantling of that very question. To wish for their regret is to misunderstand the goal. The goal was never to haunt their future. The goal was to build your own. The goal is to construct a life so full, so grounded, and so authentic that you are the one who will never regret that they walked away. Because their departure, as painful as it was, became the unexpected key. It was the event that forced you into the forge, that put you on the path up the mountain, that gave you the sacred task of building your own quiet harbor. You thought you were fighting to win them back, but you were actually fighting to win yourself back. In the end, you realize you didn't lose them. You found yourself. Subscribe for more.